Hello, World of Tank Blitzers, it's Littlefinger, and I'm here this morning doing a full tank review on the Type T-34. This is obviously a modified T-34, fits into the Chinese tree at Tier 5, and it is a medium tank. Here you can see it in the garage. Got that turret nice and in the front. It's got some nice sloped armor. This tank does move around quite well. It's one of the more mobile mediums at Tier 5. You can see here it does have the smaller 57mm gun, which loads quite quickly but doesn't do much damage. So let's take a look here real quick. Tech tree, obviously only one line right now in the Chinese tree, just because it was just added in one of the latest updates. So we are on the Tier 5, the Type T-34. We head up to the Type 58, 34-1, which starts getting into some really nice guns about that point, up to the 121. So I'm on my way, kind of playing this a little bit slowly, but interesting line. I think gonna play a lot like the Russian line. As far as characteristics for this tank, you can see here, kind of mediocre in protection, good in firepower and shot effectiveness, and really good in maneuverability. So in a way, this fits my playstyle. I like to maneuver a lot, but I don't like these small pew-pew guns, as I call them, and there's been a lot of discussion on the channel lately about that, which I love to see. So anyway, hull armor 45, turret armor 52, comes in at 28 tons. We've got a speed limit here of 55. Some really nice traverse speeds at 58 and a turret traverse at 55. So the tank does move around really well. You see here 20 rounds per minute, doing 90 damage per shot, with your average pen being right there at 118. So quite reasonable here for Tier 5. Your KV1 is going to be at 100mm, so shouldn't have too much problems with the pen on this tank. Just looking real quick here, consumables, well, this is pretty standard for me. Repair kit, multi-purpose, and adrenaline. Just going back real quick, adrenaline on a tank like this that reloads at 20 rounds per second really might be a waste. If you're used to it, maybe the medical kit here. Did notice my driver seemed to die quite frequently, so it probably would have been nice to have that med kit there to repair. Moving on to provisions, I'm running the top three: the improved combat rations, the improved fuel and protective kit. Ammunition here, I've got about 60 rounds of AP, 20 of APCR. Don't forget you can change it to credits here with the shell price button, and 20 rounds of HE. Not that I shot any HE with this tank, which has a very low penetration number there. Just looking at equipment real quick, and I'll spend just a few minutes talking about this. Obviously, don't really need a gun rammer. We're at 20 rounds per second, so we're going to go with calibrated shells to get that extra penetration value. Improved modules, I am running the defense system. Just find that this seems to work better for me. I'm not sure. Not a lot of difference here, in my opinion. Running improved optics over camouflage net, and again, as a Tier 5 tank that you're probably not going to want to bring out of the garage, you're probably going to sell it as you move up. Don't waste any spare parts, because you don't get those back when you sell your tanks. So enhanced gun lane drive over supercharge. Well, I'd probably go with supercharge just to get that shell velocity up. Enhanced armor over improved assembly, and then engine accelerator over improved control. And then I would go with your vertical stabilizer, and these last four to me are just complete toss-ups. Don't even really know if you can even really tell a difference in game about those. So don't waste any spare parts on this tank, but if you do, those are my recommendations. Alright guys, so here is the Tank Compare Blitzstars.com website. We've got the Type T-34 pulled up. I've actually got both of them, one with the 57mm and the other with the Tier 4 76mm gun, just for comparison purposes. I've got the PZ4, the Chinook, the M4, and then the very close cousin of this tank, the T-34, which also has a 57mm gun. You look at this damage per minute. Obviously, the Type is much further ahead of these other ones, almost 30%, that are mainly in the 1300 range. And the nice thing about this 57mm gun is you've got 112 on the pen, and you can see that that's only bested here by these Tier 5 mediums, by the Chinook and M4. You're only doing 90 damage, whereas these other ones are typically doing 160, but you've got that awesome rate of fire of 20.7. Your reload is only 3 seconds, so the downside to that, in my opinion, is you've got to be exposed quite frequently in order to get shots on target as frequently as this gun will allow. Like I said, it is a 57mm, and we've got pretty good shell velocity here, so it is a nice, accurate tank. The dispersion there at .32 is also the best in class there, and the downside to this tank over all the other ones, in my opinion, is you've only got 5 degrees of negative gun depression. Even the T-34 with the same gun has 8. Obviously, the American tanks are one of the best tanks here with their gun depression, and awesome for playing on hills. This one, you're going to have to do a little bit more flat area, side scraping, that type of stuff if you want to truly stay protected as much as possible. Your other option is obviously to run around like crazy and just disrupt. But as you can see, you can kind of get away with that in this tank because you've got a 55 km/h top speed. The engine is pretty good. You're not going to have too much difficulty moving around in this tank, and even the traverse speed there at 47 degrees is top of class. So as far as maneuverability, this tank, really does shine. View range is right in line with the rest of these tanks. It is a little bit low on the hit points at 680, and you can see our other downside here is our hull and turret armor is a little bit on the low side compared to these other tanks. So anyway, let's jump into some gameplay, and you can see how this tank plays. Alright guys, so here we are, dead rail, bottom tier. You can see here, just me and the Leopard are the only tier 5s in this game. Look at all these mediums right here and lights. So going to indicate we want to go to sector 6 here, and we're going to push up and try to get some spotting action, and that is a good way to get some more experience points. If you can get spots and your team can do damage for you while you're getting those spots, really helps out with your experience. So anyway, I'm waiting for this MT to get out of my way, because one of the things you can do here is you can see how I'm using the hill to my right to get this gun depression up and over this hill, and I can just pull up, take my shot, and then back down. And I am watching to see, who's looking this way, if anyone's about to shoot, or if they have just shot. I know I'm clear to get up there and take my shot. So looks like the initial push on the hill there has stopped, and they have all gone down low. And so we're just going to sit here kind of undetected and just start popping shots in at about 100 a clip when I get hit from behind. So I've got to make a move. Can't stay there. Can't get our 5 degrees of gun depression down to shoot on that kind of flat area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push around and try to keep this KV-1 from coming up on our flank. because this SU-100Y is not doing that. So we'll come around the edge here, get our gun depression down, and take a shot from the KV there. KV on the move, hitting a very small target like that. That's the Russian bias of this game, not gonna lie. So now I've got a little bit of support, and I'm not sure if this type over here realizes that we can shoot through the train. So need like this super fast reload time here. And we're just pumping in the shots. Didn't pull forward enough that time. We hit the dirt. And bounce the shot off the side of his turret there as he gets away. So we'll turn around here and just see what's going on the other side. Basically just cleaning up, but trying to stay alive here. Missed that one. Didn't know that he had a shot through the train there as well. Just 2 left, and I'm obviously a 1 shot to that KV, and gonna go out and try to get some help on this ARL. You can see how it does pick up speed nicely, climbs hills nicely. And I'm spotted, so I'm just gonna play it really cautiously here. Want to make sure I stay alive. Kind of baited a shot out of him there, but you can see how much red that ARL is showing from the front. Just be patient here and wait for our team to come in and finish him off. No point trying to be a hero and dying there. And even as bottom tier, we did do 1536 in damage. So 19 shots there. Obviously we did have a few bounce, but holding its own. Not going to do an extremely high damage here as a low tier, but enough. So here's second game, Lost Temple. Again, bottom tier, just a KV1 and myself as the tier 5s. KV1S calls that he's going left, which was actually a surprise to me. I would have thought that they would have wanted to go Temple. And so, since I'm seeing everybody going that way, no point going alone, that's for sure. We know how that ends. So anyway, we've got a team that's all sticking together here, which is good. And I kind of like pulling up to this mound here in the middle. Going to be a little cautious that not all of them have spotted up. And amazingly enough, their whole team has come this way too. And you can see how fast we can get 2 shots in. And a big tank like that KV1S that shot and missed at us is now on a huge reload. So we've gotten 4 shots into his 1 missed shot. He's fired again there. You could see that smoke from the gun. Now these guys are pushing all over each other, getting each other's way. And we're just pumping these shots in every 3 seconds. They actually split up a little bit, so there's only 3 tanks over here, so I felt safe pushing in. Didn't want him backing up too much here, so go ahead and take a big shot from him. The guns are going to get a lot better on the tier 6. They're going to do a lot more damage. And that Type 34 1 really does some damage with its gun. So a huge change from playstyle on this tank. So I've only got 2 guys left, and you can see here on the move, very accurate. And we can just sit here and pump out these shots and finish him off for our first kill. And now we've got a little tricky KV2 here. He is not even looking at us, so we'll stay behind him. I'm not sure how I missed that one. He's fired, so we probably can get off 4 rounds before he does. And how does that bounce? But anyway, we get our second kill there. We end up doing 1595 in damage. But you can see the difficulty with the playstyles of always having to be available to shoot. Alright, so here we are, top tier this time on Himmelsdorf. And I don't know about you guys, but it seems like every third game I get now is on Himmelsdorf. And to be quite honest, I don't like it. This map is too one-dimensional for me. You know, there's no hills for fighting on. It's all basically city fighting, and playing in the lighter, faster tanks. It's certainly not a good way to go, in my opinion. But anyway, we play what we are given. Here comes this ram here, and that AMX has pushed up hard here. But you know what? I can shoot under you. You're so low to the ground. And not sure you're going to survive too long here, having pushed that far forward. So just pumping in the shots here, and you can see we have taken some serious damage on our health as we fought off that AMX. And that's obviously the challenge you face when you're going to get out front like I did in this game to do spotting. So now we got to play obviously a lot more cautiously. We really can't take any more hits at this point. So we're going to have to be a lot more map aware here. As you can see, this guy's facing the other way, and I can use my speed and get behind him and finish him off, knowing that I had protection here from the turned over rail cars. Gonna wait. He's fired. We can move in. We can get our couple shots in and get kill number 2. So we've done a good job pushing through the rail cars. We've got a 2-tank advantage at this point in time. Obviously, they've got a Hetzer down there, so there's 3 more tanks. There's the other 2. Looks like this guy must be sitting up here on this perch. Yep. So we'll pop a few shots in here as he's trying to get off. Downside to this gun is you're not going to be breaking too many tracks with it. Again, there, just being extra cautious. Didn't want to get hit by a shot and end the game. So now we're on the hunt for this VK. He's just fired there, so we can sneak around him and should be able to do the old circle of death. A nice tank like this that maneuvers so well. T1 left. And looks like he might be looking at me, so I'm not going to pull out there. Gonna get behind the cover of another tank, obviously, here. And let him respot him. He must have kept on going straight, is what I'm thinking. Not sure where he got to. Ah, there he goes. So get one shot in, and he is just laser focused on me. Look at that. He's just looking at me. Meanwhile, he's got guys shooting him from the behind. And yet he still hasn't turned. No point in me going out. And we'll just sit there and watch him die. So anyway, we end up with 2 kills and 1902 in damage. Good for level 3 mastery badge. And that's... The bar is very high on the mastery badge on this tank. I have yet to find it. So, anyway, good game there. Alright, so here we are on Mirage as top tier. You can see it. Myself and one other tank there is top tier. Now, I like to go into the middle and get some spotting in early. It's a nice bush here right near cap. Allows me to see which way this team is going. And as soon as I get spotted, make sure you pull off the hill. So now I'm trying to figure out where's my team, where's their team, and how do we best regroup here, and where is the weak spot. Well, obviously this type and the Lux here are pushed around to the side, so we'll go ahead and start getting some shots into them. Getting a little traffic in my way here. Got shot from the side there, so let's make sure we get to some safety. He's gonna have to come way over if he wants to get that gun depression down now. So trade a couple shots there with him, but basically just enough to get him to empty his clip and get back off the hill. So now it looks like they've got 3 right down in that same area. Should be safe to come up and over. Easy low health kill there. Stewart is sitting in cap. Couple bounces. We're getting shot, so I'm going to back up a little bit. That Stewart still hasn't moved though, so we can roll over the hill, take our shot, and back down. And this is part of the problem that I don't like with this gun, because you see basically you might as well just sit on the hill. But if it was a slower loading, higher damage, we could take our shot back down and reload. So now we've got the slow Valentine in front of us. We should be able to circle him. Get off that hill. Oh, that shot doesn't go in. So I'm going to take one more shot, but it bounces. And now we've got a runner. So speeding it up here just to save a little bit of time as we chase this guy down. Figured he'd gone into the corner. When he pops up on the screen there. So in we come. The shot here on the run. Another one on the run there. Finally get a track shot into him, and we'll swing around here and finish him off for our 3rd kill of the game. So 1649 is damage. You saw good mobility, fairly accurate on the move. Overall, you know, a decent tank. It's just not my favorite play style. You see 22 shots there to get 1600 damage. It's a lot of shooting. So if that's the game style you like, this is a really good tank for that. Otherwise, I think the play style of this line is going to change a little bit once we get into some of these bigger guns. So, have fun out there, guys. Stay safe and get educated. Not fingered. Littlefinger out.